I think Forest might as well be booking their hotel rooms.
Forest were by far the better side. Could have had 5 in the first half.
Suppose it's at least worth watching Tuesday night, but play out like that, we'll get battered.
Hey Blaze, it's Statsman here with your pre-match build-up ahead of what is a huge game against Nottingham Forest. Bramall Lane's filling up really nicely. Ozzy gets the nod ahead of gorgeous George Bulldog. God, this is going to be a big one. The atmosphere's buzzing, the game is buzzing. The Blades need to get something to take to the City ground and get to Wembley and then to the promised land. Hey, I tell you what, this atmosphere is going to be huge. We've got a sign. Please hold this up above your heads. We're returning the job streak, when and right, boys. I'll be back with your first half reaction at half time. Well, half time at beautiful downtown Bramall Lane. Fortunately, it's 1-0 to the visitors. The way started promising, trying to get forward in the first 10 minutes, but then after a warning from Forest after 7 minutes, they repeated the trick after 10 minutes. A free kick was given to Forest. Was it a free kick? Who knows? The cross came in, and Wes made a good save, but the rebound, Jack Colbert, got it home to make it 1-0. Good finish from Jack Colbert. He really couldn't miss. The Blaze tried to get forward. Gibbs White got in behind. John Egan had a really good header. It was cleared off the line, and it was, it was 1-0. We need to get back in the game. We need to try and find a way into the game. We need to try and get a way back into this tie. As the half grow on, everything down in the Stevens side. Jed Spence running mob. Sam Surridge up front, his movement was nothing short of immense, in fairness. And they were really going for it. And we're looking at, we're not out of this tie, but look, we're only a quarter of a way through. We need some more going forward. Sanderberg had a good first 10 minutes. That was it, 10 minutes. We just can't get into the game. Illiman and Dye is trying. Morgan Gibbs White, he got in behind, but then he just chipped it to the goalkeeper. Just a really frustrating half. It's a full house at Bramall Lane. The crowd are buoyant, the crowd are hopeful. It's a big game. We're only 45 minutes in to what is the biggest game this season. You know what, Blades? We could be 2, we could be 3, even 4-0 down at this stage. So, Hecky, get into it at half time. Let's get out to the second half. Let's see what we can do. Turn it around, boys. We can do this. Look, I've come down pitch side to see what the atmosphere is like. The place is still buzzing. The fans have really got behind the fans, behind the players. They give it a really good go. Hecky, Jack and Stuart McCall has been ringing out. We really need to find a way back into this. If it's anything other than a 1-0 to Forest at the end, I really think we're going to struggle. But anyway, we can do it. I'm going to predict we're going to turn it around. We're going to at least get out of here with a draw. Let's see what happens. Come on, Blades.
Hiya, Blades. So, come out, second half, 1 down. Thought we actually started okay. Forest were always dangerous on the break, but at the very least, we did at least have some of the ball. We looked to be putting on some pressure, and then we give one of the stupidest goals of the season away. We make it so easy for them to go 2-0 up, and effectively that's us dead and buried. We've just not turned up very much at all today. I thought midfield were rubbish. I just don't think they got any control on game. Thought the subs we made didn't make much sense. Norwood off just meant we got no control at all through midfield. And it just left us exposed. I don't think once he'd gone off, we really put that much pressure on Forest. Right at the death, we have got a goal. Corner comes in, their keeper, he's flapped it a lot today. We had one in the first half. Fortunately, when it's second half, goes in. So, I suppose it's at least worth watching Tuesday night. But play out like that, we'll get battered. We've got to be better. We've got to turn up. Midfield's got to show up. We've got a hell of a lot of work to do. And to be honest, I don't see it. I don't see it personally. I think Forest might as well be booking their hotel rooms. But who knows? Fingers crossed. Maybe I'm wrong. I've always been negative Blade before and I've been proved wrong once or twice. So maybe this is the time. Well, I suppose we had a good few months to end the season. And hopefully we have another good game Tuesday night and I'm wrong. Sucking on me sour lemons and celebrating us going to Wembley against all odds. Who knows, eh? Come on, Blades.
Oh, positives. So hard to take any positives. Other than a late goal. Maybe you look at it and say, well, we scored the last goal, so with a very quick turnaround, there's momentum there and we can try and build on that. Really, though, over the piece, I thought Forest were by far the better side. Could have had 5 in the first half. So many negatives. I don't want to dwell too long on the negatives because I think we all know that didn't go the way that it should have gone. It was very much similar to when we had a good performance before and then a bad performance afterwards. You think of Middlesbrough 4-1 and then losing against Coventry by the same scoreline. What you need to do is carry that momentum on. Forest game plan executed to perfection. They will have been delighted with the way that played out. They'll have been disappointed with that late goal conceded. For us, positives, let's just get behind the lads now. Really, really big atmosphere needed. Need to be like I thought those Forest fans were today. I thought they were really good. Negatives are so many. I mean, just the whole thing, the whole day, so disappointing, especially after Fulham. I don't want to focus on those though. On to Tuesday.
Yeah, thanks very much indeed. Yeah, marks out of 10 here in my caravan here in North Dorset. What a bizarre place to give marks out of 10. I think we were beaten by the better side there, weren't we, really? But it's all to play for in the second leg at the Forest Ground on Tuesday. Marks out of 10 though. Fodders, 8 out of 10 really. Brilliant performance from him really. First half, some absolutely outstanding saves. I mean, it was Jim Montgomery versus Peter Lorimer-esque, wasn't it? That second header by Johnson. I don't know how he got to it, but he, suddenly we were struggling at the time, and he kept us in the game. So well done to Fods. Ender Stevens, I thought Ender struggled a little bit against Spence. He struggles for pace as Ender, doesn't he? But a dogged performance, and I thought he did really well. He didn't get a chance to get up the left side very much, but I'll give him 6 out of 10 for what he did. Jackie Longthrow, he scored a goal, and isn't it strange that he just pops up in the box and manages to nod in the odd goal for us, and also his long throws into the box caused a hell of a lot of problems. It's a shame that people didn't attack them better, and most of them ended up in the keeper's hands. But I thought he had a decent game. He's improved so much as Jackie Longthrow, and I'm really impressed with him. I thought he was pretty solid today. Egan, 6 out of 10. To blame for our second goal. He drops a whole 2 marks for that. That was complacency from the top draw, really. It wasn't good performance for an international player like that to suddenly allow Joe Lolly an edge in on him and to win the ball off him. So, he gets a 6 out of 10, which was, he put in some good interceptions right the way through the game. He really did. And he put some key headers. But that goal was avoidable, and he shouldn't be caught like that whatsoever. Basham, Mr. Dependable all the time, did all the right things, attacked right up the right hand side, played some key balls and stole yards off Forest. So he gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Osborne. Against his old club, I expected a little bit more. But the problem with Osborne is he's a left-footed player playing in a right-footed player's role. And every single time he goes up the pitch, he always has to cut back onto that left foot. And it's sad, really. They had him sussed throughout. Even when he switched positions into midfield, they still had him closed down. They knew exactly what game he was going to play. So Osborne gets a 6 out of 10 from me. John Fleck was playing really his Jimmy Fleck game. I thought he was beaten to most of the balls, really. He had a fairly decent opening to the first half, but I thought they really, really started to close him down with the rest of the midfield. I thought that, the midfield were really anonymous. Norwood, I'm afraid he's going to get his usual standard 5 out of 10. He's looking to get that, really. I thought he showed his vulnerabilities throughout the whole of the game. There was a couple of times in the first half when balls were played into nowhere. Forest just picked up and then went on the counter, which is exactly what they're good at, because they'll expose that kind of vulnerability. So Norwood gets a 5 out of 10 from me. Sanderberger, a bit of an enigma. He's playing in that advanced role, isn't he? He's meant to play in that number 10 role where he's the playmaker, and he's taking it up and down the pitch, and he's moving in and out of areas where we don't normally attack to. But I thought towards the end of the first half and the second half, I thought he disappeared, and then he came back for about 10 minutes in the second half where he was more involved. But really, I can't give him any more than a 6 out of 10. I thought, I expected more from Sanderberger today. Iliman Ndiaye, and paired with Morgan Gibbs-White, I think, the pair of them work so well together. But when the midfield doesn't play so well in Sheffield United's game, these two are just so exposed, and they're just left for digging things out, as was Ndiaye today. So he gets a 7 out of 10 for his efforts, but he didn't have a great deal of chances on goal to make an impact that I thought that he should have made. And the same with Morgan Gibbs-White. Morgan Gibbs-White gets a 7 out of 10 as well. It's a shame for him, really, because he's in the shop window, really, isn't he? For us particularly, and if we don't sign him, we're going to make a big mistake, because he is the outlet to which most of our goals and our chances come through, because he's a clever player, and he showed that cleverness today. The substitutes, Baldock, You know, Baldock, his characteristic sort of aggressive manner, picks up a stupid yellow card, which he doesn't need to pick up in his usual familiar role of right wing back. Didn't do a great deal for us when he came in on as well. I think he's a bit match rusty as well. And then we had Jebo came on, which I hardly saw him touch the ball. So Jebison gets a 5 out of 10. Similarly for Norrington Davis as well, 5 out of 10 really. Never really saw them involved in the game whatsoever. It was a bit too late by then, wasn't it? You know, we were not in this kind of strategic manner where we were pushing the ball up the pitch. We were just trying to get the set plays going and trying to attack their goal. So neither of them get above a 5 out of 10. For Hecky, Jack and Stuart McCall, 6 out of 10 today. I thought the second half was a lot better. I thought obviously they got inside the players' heads, but goodness me, we were beaten by a better side today, and they had all the answers for Sheffield United today. You know, you compare Forest with Fulham. You know, Forest looked far more prepared and far better than Fulham at Bramall Lane. Anyway, it's all on for Tuesday night. Hopefully we can get back at them and we can bring a result back and get into the final. At the moment, I'm a little bit doubtful. Up the Blades!